Hello everyone, this is Marshy. Been kindly asked by JP to do a little bit for his podcast and his instant reactions after games. You can also find me on West Ham Fan TV doing a little bit there, but I appreciate that, JP. It means a lot to be asked for my reaction so far this season, and especially the defeat just now to Burnley Saturday just gone. I think it's fair to say I think the start of the season was as good as what it could be for us. I think I'm glad that we started in a positive light. We seem to start as we finished the last, if you like, you might argue. Picking up the points that we did as early as we have seems to be now a massive advantage in the team, considering that we haven't now won a game in 6 or 7 as it stands, or something silly like that. I think Pellegrini had them all planned as a unit, all playing together. Everyone knew their individual jobs and everyone knew their jobs when we come together to play as one going forward. And, as much as going forward attacking, we're coming back and defending as a unit and as one as well, which was pleasing to see, beating some good sides and also beating some sides that we would previously, on years previous had dropped points to. So I think it was essential and good to see, like I say, that we got off to a positive start. I think the wheels sort of come off, if you like, if that's the right phrase and figure of speech. At Oxford away in the cup, we seemed to beat Newport pretty well, although we had a slow start there, and they got on top a little bit, and I think the quality and the possession and fitness showed there. Obviously Wilshere grabbing a goal as well, which was big for him at the time. Obviously been out of the team at the moment, and unfortunately his injuries can't be proven, and he doesn't seem to be able to play a lot of minutes, which is another siding thing, just one of the many issues going on at the club at the moment. But like I say, we then draw Oxford and lose 4-0. Pellegrini, had to come under fire that game. I said it to the West Ham TV boys straight after the game. Come out as a fourth goal went in. It just isn't good enough. Someone of Pellegrini's stature, seems to have to take some form of responsibility for this team. He's the man that leads them out. He's the man that picks the side and should expect to get big performances, especially with no disrespect to lower league sides. You would expect to go there and be a distinct representation of the top league in the country, and we just simply didn't do that. And I think leading on from that Oxford defeat stemmed more defeats in the league, losing at home to Palace, losing at home to Newcastle, drawing, with Sheffield United, losing at Everton, and since now losing at Burnley. Clearly Fabianski's a massive miss, and he's a big problem between the sticks now with Roberto. He's got to come under some massive fire. I mean, for me, whether he's even clarifies as a footballer, I don't even know anymore, to be honest with you. I think, I've not seen a worse goalkeeper at West Ham in certainly my time of watching them. It becomes a worry when, we're all at Burnley on Saturday and we're singing, Super Fabianski as we do. Just goes to show more about the support and maybe Roberto as a person. Like, he made 3 terrible errors leading up to the 3 Burnley goals, and he's got to take some responsibility, and it's down to Pellegrini in order to get him in the right frame of mind and train him right and preparing in the right way for the games that we've got coming up, because now it seems to be no win in 6 or the last 7 or whatever the stat is, which again simply isn't good enough. These are sides that prior to playing the big teams that we've got coming up in the next few weeks, you would half expect maybe to get points from, and the fact that we haven't has to be pressing on the manager a little bit, and being told he's only got a couple of games to go, knowing that we've got Tottenham and Chelsea in the next 2 after the international break is going to find points, I think, hard to come by. But it might be a West Ham thing to do in order to have this break, which I generally think that the supporters deserve the break a lot more than the players, to be honest. I think we've shown that. We've turned up in droves every single week at home, every other week away from home. We sell out, tickets are hard to come by. You've got the situation with the ticketing aside, which is, again, yet another problem at the club at the moment with this 10% balloting and stuff like that. I think for me, there just seems to be a lot going on at the club at the moment, that people at the hierarchy, people at the top level at this club, the owners don't seem to be rectifying, they don't seem to be explaining themselves, and that's why I think a lot of supporters are asking governing questions and maybe not getting the direct answers that they may so desire, and or maybe hearing it through this one and that one and whichever different sources that they've got, which is unfortunate, because I think without supporters at any club. Football becomes, like a myth, if you like. It becomes not even half of what it is with supporters there. So, the fact that there's no West Ham player at the moment willing to play for the shirt, no player at the moment seems to be showing that commitment, lack of desire, lack of passion. Playing for West Ham should be a massive thing. And, a lot of supporters would love to be able to get on there and share the ability that these players do have. I mean, you look at the bigger players in the side, sort of the names, Lanzini, Anderson, Haller. In fairness to Lanzini, I mean, he's out for a little while now, which I feel sorry for him. Like, he's probably been one of our better players. Low sense of gravity, beats players like they're not even there. Creates that positive atmosphere when he comes into games when he's not starting, and things seem to look like they're going to happen when he's in possession of the ball, driving forward and attacking the opposition goal. It just hasn't seemed to be the last sort of 6 games, maybe more. We know that we need to step up, and that largely falls into the bracket of Pellegrini, unfortunately. I did admittedly say, I think after the Newcastle game, Nicky from West Ham TV asked me how I felt about him, and I said, look, he's got to go, and I still stand by that. I was hoping to wake up to that. Like this morning with West Ham without a manager for the moment, and then, having to build and go again, which is what I believe that we need to do. I think from the top to the bottom, we need to start taking a look at ourselves, player-wise and manager-wise, and, the backroom staff even, and maybe ask the fundamental questions as to why we don't look like we're preparing in the right way, we don't look like we're doing it in the right way. And it's unfortunate for the supporters, we all pay a lot of money, we all go to work, and, a lot of people would love the opportunity to do what we do every other week, and we're all supporters of the club, and, we all deserve the same thing. And I think at the moment it's becoming a chore more than anything else for most people. And, this week so far, in the back end of last week, I've heard a lot of people say that, without meeting new people and without your old man, if you like, that you go with, and without your mates, the groups of people that you call your company, the company that you keep is a massive thing at this club, and always has been. And, without that, I think, a lot of people will be driven away. So at the end of the day, I think it's just frustrating, because we know the qualities that we possess, we know the qualities that we have, all this top 6 side on paper, and then for some reason we can't address it on the pitch like where it matters. I hope, that we can get it sorted. Obviously, everyone will want to see us climbing back up the league, top 6 talk, this will be the season to do it, and we find ourselves well within the bottom 6, so hopefully we can maintain some ability going forward, and hopefully pick up some points, maybe get the bigger sides out of the way, a process of elimination for the amount of goals that we're potentially going to concede with the quality that these 3 sides coming up in the next 3 weeks possess. But a lot of that's got to bear down to us, and hopefully Pellegrini will have them on a training pitch, from here to then. I know we've got a break coming up, but, I don't really think they deserve a break. They haven't really warranted one. I think more so the support have warranted the break more so than the team, which obviously says a lot about where we are as a whole club at the moment. Not a position that we want to be in. However, it is a position that we've been in before, and we should know how to get out of it. Whether Pellegrini does remains to be seen, and is a completely another thing, because, he's a winner, he's been there, done it, if you like. And, I generally think he's gone past his sell-by date now at West Ham. Obviously I want to see us win the games, but I'm just not so sure that Pellegrini is the man in order to take us forward. But as we do, we continue on. We've got to keep the faith. We've got to try and keep as positive as what we can. We'll continue to be attending these games as necessary, because that's all what we love doing, and, no supporters any different. So let's enjoy the international break, and hopefully let's come back to some good quality football. Cheers.